speech. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Roman. I appreciate the kind words. And I do remember when we got started on the personal growth plan. I think everybody needs to have that start. Somebody has to spark them, put a spark in them to get them going, get them motivated. So one of the things I want to first and foremost say is I understand this team has made great leaps and bounds. No success ever happens by accident. Never by accident. You do not become a world champion by accident. You do not become very good in your profession by accident. The principles of business will always remain the same. It's just the strategies that change and the teams that come together to reach the ultimate goal.
And welcome to Unlimited Conferencing.
So now you have a team here, for example, that 2018 delivered, I believe, 6 units. On track to do 13 units. That's huge growth. That is huge growth. Cannot be done without the collective talent and value of each and every one of you. So I'm going to give you a round of applause, and please give yourself a round of applause. Probably no better way to start out than how do we, on an individual basis, get better every day. Now, my friend Lee Kemp's going to talk a lot about some of these things too, but I want to share with you some of the stuff that I have shared with you in the past, and it's always good for a bit of a refresher. I always think the content always must be solid and good, and it must be repetitive, and it must be practiced over and over again. This is how we get really good at what we do. And so today I want to challenge you to personally grow yourself on a daily basis. And I'm talking about a steady diet of studying your profession, taking pride in what you do. Earlier I was talking to the service team. And I always have great value for the service team. Being in the sales side, bringing sales and service together is really critical. It is critical to the outcome of the one thing that matters the most, finding solutions for your customer base. You see, your customers depend on your personal growth. Because the better you get, the better you make them. Your customers are the very lifeline, the blood, the existence, and the conduit to the growth of this company. No customer, no need for San-i-Pak. But I think what makes San-i-Pak unique, as opposed to any other company, is that somehow you're putting the right people in the right places. But you must make personal growth a prerequisite for professional growth. You can never become a champion just thinking that you want to be a champion. You must think it, you must put it into action, but you must commit to being as awesome as you possibly can be. To be as amazing at whatever you do as you possibly can be. When no one else is looking here publicly, the champions always find a way to get it done because privately they're going about their business like a professional does. Focus on the task at hand. Personal growth puts you in that position to be a student of your profession. For example, a service team that knows their schematics so well. They know the maintenance side of this. They can see an issue coming before it ever comes, and they head it off at the pass. A sales team that recognizes that there's opportunity for more growth. Leaders in a company finding the right people to put in the right positions that can bring the most value to your company. So please, if you haven't, I'd like you to start now. Read the books, listen to the podcast, become a student. Here's a great acronym to remember from the last talk. Here's the key to success, KEY. Keep educating yourself. Keep educating yourself. When you do that, you're going to hit a point in the business, in your personal life, and your professional life, When you get to that point and you see progress in your personal growth, I've seen it with a lot of people in here. I won't mention names, but I've seen the growth in people here that has not been just a little bit, it's been huge. And I know what they're doing. They're becoming more every day. Huge, big point. So that's my little talk on personal growth. Please take it seriously, be a student for life, and take whatever you're learning today and implement it today if you haven't. Write out your own personal philosophy. And if you need a little help with that, I'm happy to help you. I'll share mine with you real quick before I move to the next topic. And it's consistent. Number one is to help people achieve success by empowering them to see themselves and others better than they are. So leaders in this company, you've got to do that. Empower your people to see themselves better than they are. Because they are. There's so much potential in each and every one of you. It is phenomenal. What you have within you, you've just got to get it out. 2, get better every day at what I do. So I'm a student for life. And I love it. I love it. And I love it because I get to share it with people. 3, build the very best relationships possible based on true appreciation for one another. Never self-serving. Help people win first. Last but not least, have fun every day. And I have fun every day doing what I do. And many of you know me for the last 9, 10 years, right? Come on. I'm always smiling. And when I get down, I pick myself up right away. I think I learned that from boxing. When I got knocked down, I get up right away. Okay? You got to do that. Everybody gets knocked down sometime in their life, and we've got to overcome that adversity. I want you to look today on a unique topic here that I learned from a gentleman named Tim Grover. Tim Grover is the author of a book and an audio called Relentless. He was the personal trainer for Kobe Bryant, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, and Dwayne Wade. How ironic that is, 4 Hall of Famers, the very best in their profession, and who continue to succeed outside of the athletic world. He said that you don't necessarily have to enjoy all the hard work, but you must absolutely crave the end result. When you're prepping to be the very best in your profession, you're going to find a way to win. You're going to find a way to win. And apparently this company is doing that. So the team, the systems, the processes, continue to improve them, but remember something. You're going to be put in pressure situations for a reason. And this is what Tim Grover, and I want to share with you today, talks about. Unfortunately, from our past experiences, we may have learned that pressure was just too much for us. Like, I don't react well under pressure. Or I can't do what I need to do when I feel that type of pressure. It's common. And now I want to share with you the beauty of pressure and why it's so important to your growth. If you have a leader that puts you in a position of pressure, that usually means they believe in you. They believe in you enough to say, I'm going to challenge you. I know what your strength is, and I'm going to step you into this zone right now. And I'll use my good friend, if you don't mind. Don't be embarrassed, but I love this. Christy, we were talking about working shows. And I love sales. I love working shows. Matter of fact, I'm going to be working a 2-day show on Wednesday and Thursday in Santa Clara at the Design Depart show. And I love the engagement with customers. And Christy is really good at engaging, but she had a little bit of nervousness. It's normal, right? But she's now learned, if I talk to her now, she probably can tell me some stories about how she's overcoming some of those fears. Right? Pretty normal to be nervous when you're engaging with people at shows, and what if they know more than me? Well, so what if they know more than you? Ask them how they got to know so much, and they will be happy to share it with you, because they want you to grow too. Again, view pressure as a privilege, in the words of Tim Grover. A privilege, a privilege, a privilege. If it were not for two gentlemen that pushed me to the highest level of success in boxing, I would have never been a national collegiate boxing champion at a whopping 112 pounds. See, everybody feared me when I walked in. And I did stay away from the highways on windy days. Didn't take a chance. So, if it wasn't for Donnie Cole and Don Francesconi, now, I said 112 pounds for a reason. Don Francesconi was a 178 pounder, and Donnie Cole was a 139 pounder. And they pounded me every day. But how wonderful it felt when you get your hand raised and you're the best in the country on that day, right? It always took that one time, that one day. And that euphoric feeling you have when you know everything you put into what you do finally reaps that great victory. I always tell my kids when they do something exceptional, I said, now you can drink from the nectar of the gods. Right? And I get more work out of them doing that too. So. Now, keep that in mind. When you're put in pressure situations, just say it's a challenge. Leaders have a tough job in any company. Recognizing where the talents are, bringing them together, which is a great segue now into my last little topic here, before Mr. Lee Kemp gets to talk. Know what their gifts are. Leaders in this company, please recognize the gifts of the people in this company. Because these people are the company. You are the people that make this company go and grow and flow. It's awesome. And you should continue to get better on an individual basis. And leaders recognize that if you want to put somebody in another position in a company, that they're up to the challenge, one, don't take away from their gift, but motivate them to try something different so they can grow. Hey, here's the only way we really grow. And the only way we become more valuable to a company, to ourselves, our families, and customers, the industry, the market. This is it. We have to increase our value because that's how we all get paid. This company gets paid according to the value that it provides for your customer. Three things must take place in a business, and they are absolutes. And without them, you will not have business. Number one, your customer has to believe in your idea, your concept, your company, your support. And they must trust you. Number two, no trust, no business. And number three, they must know that you're going to be there for them before and after the sale. You do not want, and this may sound so different, you may not have heard this, you maybe have heard it before, but you need to hear this. Customer satisfaction is absolutely worthless. Customer loyalty is priceless. You have a loyal customer, they'll forgive you more often than not. You have a satisfied customer, they'll find another place to be satisfied. You want to build loyalty. And you want to build loyalty first within this company. This is a family. You spend more time here than you do with your own families. You're traveling, you're doing this, you're doing that. So you might as well get along with each other, which leads me into this last section. It's collaboration of talent. The true appreciation for the contributions and efforts of everyone in this company to get it to where you want it to be. You have my respect. And then what's going to happen, because of all what we're talking about now, is you're going to reinvent yourself. You're going to recreate yourself all over again. We do it on a daily basis. Sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it. We have different challenges, obstacles to overcome. And as a team, you've got to find a way to do it. Weaknesses in companies, strengths in companies. John Maxwell said it best in his book, The 17 Indisputable Laws of Teamwork. It's called the Law of Significance. One is too small of a number to achieve greatness. I would venture to say, if Lee Kemp didn't have a consortium of wrestlers attacking him every day in the wrestling room, he could not have gained that tensile strength it takes to become the very best in the world, which he became. So, with that said, each and every one of you, be a little more forgiving, cut each other a little bit of slack, and at the same time, guess what? Continue to challenge one another. You see, being a strong person, being a humble person, doesn't mean you're timid or weak. It shows a sign of strength. If we're caught up so much in ourselves, we get caught up in the small picture. And sometimes we get very prideful. Pride is the one thing that is most concerned with who's right, where humility's most concerned with what's right. That's something worth repeating again. Pride is concerned with who's right, and humility is concerned with what's right. What's best for this team? Take your talents, raise your skill levels, raise your comprehension in those skill levels that you have now, and become more valuable by adding an additional skill. The wrestler or the boxer that learns now to wrestle from the other side, or the boxer that knows how to slip here and cut over the southpaw style and go this way, becomes more dangerous to his opponent. Makes it that much more difficult for them to battle you. Personal growth, please take it seriously and grow yourself. 2, use pressure as a positive tool. Please keep that in mind, as a positive tool. And last but not least, appreciate the contributions and efforts of everybody in this room. San-i-Pak, in my opinion, will become the #1 leader as long as you continue to develop yourself in all these 3 categories. Fit in where you need to put that strength, where someone may not have a strength. I know what my strengths are, and I know what my weaknesses are, and I plug in those talents either with people, systems, understanding in different ways, and I bring it together, and collectively you become the champion of your business and your life. Thank you very much. So now, before we get started here, I want to run a trailer on Mr. Lee Kemp. They're doing a documentary on Lee's life, and it is an amazing story. Now, you first have to know how I got to meet Lee so that you can appreciate why I've brought him here. Lee, like myself, I'm 60 years old, so I graduated from college in 1982 and wrestled around that time, where Lee was on a Division I level. And so I always knew who he was, and I always knew the impact that he had left on the wrestling world, and continues to do so, by the way. But I had the ultimate pleasure, and we say by accident, but I don't think it was by accident. I was doing a talk for Team Alpha Male, the UFC MMA fighters out of Sacramento. And Lee had been hired on as the wrestling coach for Team Alpha